Good morning, everyone. It
Good
is
Saturday
Saturday,
morning.
April 19th, and we are the Going On Daily Live Morning Show. Let's wake up. Let's
Woohoo!
shake all that stuff out of your eyes. Once you hear that smooth jazz, you know you're going to have some fun when you tune in. And I know I'm going to have a great show because I have with me again Lena Williams.
Hello.
Good
You can
morning,
point at
Lena.
my
How
name
are
here.
you?
There it is. Doing good. Ready for Easter. Ready for a nice, relaxing Sunday. After I get through today. How about
Uh,
yourself?
well, I'm Jewish, but hey, um,
But
we're not
hey,
going to get into
what are you
religion.
gonna
But
do?
it's a big weekend. It's not only Easter, it's Greek Easter. That almost never happens when it's together. It's 420 if you celebrate, other
True. There's
holidays,
so much going on.
and
There's
it's
so much going on.
WrestleMania weekend, so I can celebrate that.
What was that last one? I didn't hear you.
It's WrestleMania
Oh,
weekend.
what?
Oh, I'm sorry, I just heard a noise out
I
there.
think.
Let's go. Well, it is Saturday the 19th, and we want you to check out all of our socials and give us stars and shares and likes, because that's how we get paid, folks. So, first, you're going to start off at Facebook. If you are a fan of Facebook, you go to Facebook at RI Broadcasting. Okay? Remember that? Write it down. If you're a Twitch streamer, you're a Twitch at RI underscore broadcasting. See, subtle difference. If you're a TikToker, it's TikTok at RI Broadcasting. Okay? And again, for you YouTubers, you want to go to YouTube at, now you got to spell it out. It says it right there on the screen, Rhode Island Broadcasting. And if you really want to support the show and be a super fan for us, and we would appreciate it, you go to Patreon at RI Broadcasting. And we have a merch section there. We got mugs, we got pens, we got stickers. Show your love, support the show, get us going. Look at that. Ron's got us set up already. And it is April 29th. Here's what we want you to know. And Lena, I think you have a story of a lot of people in Connecticut and Rhode Island really need to know.
Yeah. There's been quite a happening here in this area. And the reason I bring it up is because it's kind of getting out there now. People put an article out about this on the 18th, which is, I think, yesterday. Yep, looks like yesterday. They put an article out about this. There is like a possible serial killer or a suspected serial killer in this area.
Dun, dun,
Uh,
dun.
yeah, a string of suspicious deaths, discoveries of human remains are happening across southern New England between March last month and this month. And this month ain't over yet, so we don't even know what the next thing is going to be. So there's kind of some fears. There's a lot of people around this area and sort of the upper northwest corner of Connecticut that are worried.
Indeed.
So, yeah, it's I can go over the victims and the discoveries if that's something that we want to do. That's
Yeah,
totally up
what
to
makes
you.
them think that it's a serial killer? There's obviously something linking all of them together.
Just the fact that that's the area that they're in that is so dense. It's kind of almost like a western uh, edge of Rhode Island, Connecticut. So it's like we have a Route 6 here, and it runs. It's a kind of not a back road, but it's a main road, but it's not a highway that runs into Connecticut, and it's sort of like on both sides of that road, on the line that these bodies are being found.
Oh,
So
God.
there have been a couple inland as well. We don't know if they're related. But so I will say this: there's a woman by the name of Michelle Romano that was found, and she was missing since last August. So she was found in Foster, Rhode Island, and Foster, Rhode Island is very close to the Connecticut border.
Right.
And her family and a lot of people around her have vehemently denied or have decided that they don't like that theory for her. I don't know why, but they don't think that she's related. However, she's one of the people found in this area,
Right.
so she's still on the list. We have a Paige Fannin. By the way, Michelle was 56. Paige Fannin, she was 35. So she was found in Norwalk River, Connecticut.
Oh, boy.
Um, let's see. Denise Leary. She was missing for 2 days, by the way, Paige. She wasn't gone a whole lot of time before she was found. Denise Leary was found, and she was last seen in September. That was the last time anybody saw her.
Wow.
She was found behind a house in New Haven, Connecticut. And then there are some unidentified remains. So there was somebody that was a woman between 40 and 60 found in Colonel Ledyard Cemetery in Groton, Connecticut. Also, some unidentified remains. We do have some Massachusetts remains that were found. We don't know if those are related, but it is New England. So there was somebody that was found off Route 3 in Plymouth. They're not sure now whether that's man or woman. They haven't identified. It's an open case. Also, a Killingly, Connecticut on April 9th was found. Again, unidentified. They're not sure if it's, who it is yet. They're still looking into that. We just had an unidentified body pulled out of the Woonasquatucket River in Providence. And this was Wednesday.
Another woman?
We don't know. They're actually not,
okay.
or they do know, but they're not saying yet. They're not giving us any.
There
are rumors that it's a female.
Yeah.
Now we have there's some areas where there's some encampments and things like that happening around riverbeds and around inner city areas. It's possible that it could be somebody that was homeless as well, and that's under, being that we just had winter and all this rain we just had and everything. It's possible it could have been somebody, just an accident and not unrelated. All cases remained unsolved. Victims range from 30 to 60s, and they are mostly women as far as we know at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The officers or the cops involved on both sides in both states have said this is unrelated. It's nothing to do with the serial killer. They're denying it. But women are worried. So it's wooded areas, rivers, secluded locations. But of course, I don't know that that's not where you would find a body. It's kind of always where bodies are found. If you're a true crime person. And where's Becky? Because Becky will tell you, that's where you find them. Secondary location, everybody. So
you gotta have them.
Yeah.
Hey, I give props to the one that when you said one was found by a cemetery. He was almost there. I mean,
right.
Put him in.
So yeah, I guess you just they did all the legwork. It's just a matter of
now,
yeah.
The I don't know how they were killed. Are any of those matching up?
So nothing yet as far as like what kind of deaths these people have had. That's another thing. Like they're keeping all that under wraps. Other than finding out that the bodies have been found and what ages they are and who they are, if they can, they haven't said anything about, because some of these people have been out there for a while, and so with the elements and animals and all that, they maybe are having a harder time, or they're just keeping. I know it's serial killers. They won't say, even if they think it is, they won't tell the public that anyway, because there's so much panic that comes from that.
Yeah, why scare the public?
Right. So it could be that they are the same killer, Ron. I'm not sure if that's the case, but we'll find out. Again, there's half of these bodies have not been identified, nor have they been given us. They've not given us any information about this. So,
does this scare you at all that you're in that area?
So I am in that area, and I hike at night. I did just went out on Thursday night, and it's a little scary. I just arm up and make sure I have everything I need, and it is a little freaky. So we all need to be careful where we're going, what time of night, what areas we're in. As women, we really need to. Anyway, we do anyway. Need to be very careful. So I would say if you are a woman in this area, you know what? Even if you're a man in this area, just be careful.
That's something we don't talk enough about, though. That's something you said that you were armed up normally. What does that entail for you? What does that mean?
It could be anything from actually armed to all kinds of things. Because I have to we run into animals outside at night. So partially that's another reason. So I have a stupid water squirt bottle that shoots 15 feet. It's dumb, but if you have an animal, that's enough usually for them to leave you alone. I have something I can stab with. I have something I can spray with. I've got a couple of mace and pepper sprays. I've got one of those alarms that alert people for 3 miles. That kind of stuff.
I've had a conversation with usually where I work. There are a lot of young girls who intern. And we've had conversations about you should have a self-defense class.
Yes.
And most of their fathers, I've done it for my own daughter. Yep. I gave my daughter a small knife. Yep. She nicknamed it Stabitha. But
I love that. I
she
love
has
that.
Stabatha. She has a backup knife. She also carries pepper spray. She's been on the subway system by herself since she was 12.
Yeah.
So she knows
Right.
everything, but you really should. And I'm not saying this just for women, it should be
Hmm.
for men as well. But women, they offer free self defense classes. And
Yes.
you should, as you put it, arm yourself one way or another because
I
things
mean,
like
we're
this are
going.
happening
The world
all
is
over the
crazy right
place.
now. It's very crazy right now. And where you're at, where you live, I mean, I think it's a little more of a upfront thing about like there's a lot of stuff going on, especially subways. I think they should pull. This is just me. I think they should at some point. It can be optional, but in a
Right.
gym class for like maybe 12 or 13-year-old girls in junior high, there should be a team that shows up at some point and says, if you want to learn self defense, sign on this thing, blah blah blah, whatever they need to do, and they need to
I
just
love
come in
that.
and teach. I've always said that. People have argued with me about, well, that's a liability, blah blah blah. But I really believe it should at least be offered because that's sorry guys, but this is where women start getting. I mean, 10, 11, 12. This is where we start getting
This
cat
is why
calls and
women
guys
choose the
following us
bear over
around.
the man.
What'd you say?
This is why
Yes.
the women choose the bear over the man.
Yes, because at least bears will just kill you. They don't bother you after that. We're
Yeah.
okay with the quick death, but we're not really interested in all the other stuff. So that's where I think most women or most females are to become aware of the fear of unknown strangers, and we deal with it. I mean, I have. Everybody I know has. So yeah, I
Oh,
think it should be
absolutely.
something that they do. Everybody should be able to take it, but I think especially females will benefit from that.
Oh
You know.
no, I couldn't agree with you more. And I would wonder why anybody would stand back and say, "Yeah, I don't want my daughter to be protected."
I don't know if it's I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I deal with some people that are fairly devil's advocate type argument people that I know that will say to me, "Well, what if? What if? What if? I don't know." Coming up with all these things that could go wrong.
What if somebody attacks your kid and they know how to protect themselves? Oh, what a horrible thing.
Right. So yeah, I don't know. I don't personally see any downside. I do know that there's some organization that has to happen. There's licensing and whoever the people that come in and
Sure.
do this are supposed to be professionals and all that. But I just don't see, especially if you can say it's one thing if you're forcing children to do this,
Yes.
but if you have the option to bow out if you don't want, or if your parents don't want that and either want to give you something personal or private somewhere else, whatever, I don't see a problem if it's optional. You know,
I
what could
agree
go
with
wrong?
you
You know,
wholeheartedly.
absolutely.
We're going to move away from that. And I thought we'd go. Oh, look, Ron's chiming in. Classes for young girls should happen. So Ron
Yes.
agrees with us. If you agree or disagree,
Yeah, I want
comment
to hear.
on socials. We want to
Tell
hear
me.
from you. Again, we're on all the socials: Facebook, TikTok. We're on everything. Just look for Rhode Island
Everywhere.
Broadcasting. We're going to switch things up, and I've got some food news for us. But
Nice.
unfortunately, the first story I have is Tostitos chips have
Ooh.
issued a recall for their highest risk level of consumption because it could cause death.
Oh my God. What?
Tostitos could cause death, but
What?
more on that later because I have other stories.
Good Lord.
I'm going to
Okay.
keep you in suspense for a little bit. Recently, now you get up in the morning, and one of the first things you do, I'm sure, is you brush your teeth, right?
Yes.
What flavor toothpaste do you prefer?
I like kind of a wintergreenish thing. I
So
like
do
mint.
I. It
Uh
makes you
oh.
feel clean, right?
Yes, but what am I gonna learn?
Well, when if I told you that KFC has a new fried chicken
Oh no.
flavored toothpaste
Wow.
that it's like biting into a hot, juicy piece of original recipe chicken in the morning. Mm-mm.
That's better for. I think that's good for dog toothpaste. They
You know
like
what?
chicken.
I think you hit upon it. That's why you should buy this.
Yeah.
Let's see. According to them, the chicken toothpaste is irresistible. Coat your teeth in flavor before leaving your mouth, leaving it fresh and clean. It's available for a limited time and sells for $13 a tube.
$13. That's not happening.
And
That's a
yet
no.
there are people out there, I'm definitely sure, who are going to do this.
I want to know if you are going to do it. I want to see somebody commenting this going to do this, and I want to know why because
Oh, please.
I have to know.
You know what? There's a punishment right there. If you have a punishment for somebody, that's what you have to do. Like you
Wow.
lose your fantasy football league. Okay, here you go. You got to brush every day with chicken breath. Blech.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. That's
Don't
crazy.
you want the 11 herbs and spices just in your teeth all day?
Yuck. I don't know.
Okay, now we're gonna move on.
Yeah, that doesn't match for me. But anyway, we'll move on.
Again, I think you hit on it. Dogs, they're hitting the wrong advertising point. It's got to be for dogs.
And I'm a dog advocate. So let me just quickly say, if you're going to get toothpaste for your dog that tastes like chicken, please make sure it doesn't have any kind of artificial sugar in it, because that will kill dogs.
There we go.
Xylitol, no xylitol. Anything with xylitol, get it out of your house.
Ron, we need to get that old-fashioned thing above your head that says "the more you know."
Yes, I'm full of that. Full of facts. Full of facts.
Okay, now we're going to go to Illinois, where there is a Chinese restaurant called the Friendship Chinese Restaurant, and they're offering their customers a chance to get free appetizers, one per visit for life.
Ooh.
Yep. As a matter of fact, they offer you a nice assortment of appetizers. They have something called angry long beans and spicy kung pao sauce. They have egg rolls. They have chicken wings. They have tofu if you're a vegan. They have crab rangoons. So it's a nice assortment.
Those are nice.
So wouldn't you just love, hey, we're going for Chinese food and I'm getting some extra food.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get the logo of the restaurant and tattoo it on your body somewhere.
Okay. Do they have to people? Can people see it? Do they have to? It doesn't really matter where, does it?
I'm guessing where they have to see, and put it right on your forehead.
Oh,
so nobody asks. Just, big L. Yeah, that'll look good on your forehead.
Okay, I'm not sure if I want to do that.
They're doing this as a promotion with a neighboring tattoo parlor called Legacy Tattoo, so both of them could drum up some business. And I was thinking about this, and I thought, okay, that's not a bad idea. So, Lena, what tattoo, what logo of what restaurant would you get on your body if it offered you free food for life?
Ooh.
I asked somebody who said Starbucks because the mermaid isn't a bad tattoo, and he's there every day anyway.
Huh.
Ron says none.
He says none at all. Huh? Nothing.
Come on, Ron, play along.
I probably would be a local pizza place or like a local. We do have local Chinese food here that is amazing. So probably something by them, but it would only be. It had to be like a small. It couldn't be like a whole store name.
Get a quarter size.
Little just like a little picture. I could do that.
I'm thinking what. Because now I'm thinking not only is it the food I like, but I have to live with the tattoo. Because everyone would be looking, going, why do you have like a McDonald's tattoo on your arm?
I would never do that. It would have to be something trendy and local.
And it's not. I wouldn't even go for McDonald's. I would be thinking like, oh, what's the best tattoo? First of all, I'd put like a Mercedes emblem all over my arm if it meant I was going to get a free one every once in a while.
But that might be not so bad that'd be a better tattoo, I think, even just because it's a cool logo, right?
Oh.
So that,
you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to get the Tesla logo right there. They'll think I'm a superhero. Just put a big T up there.
There you go.
I'm thinking, you're right, in pizza. I don't know if local Chinese food did it, so maybe it is a local place. I'm thinking like maybe a Domino's, which unfortunately I just had last night, and I shouldn't, but I did anyway. So maybe I put like Domino's on my arm.
I guess that would be so bad. Uh-oh. Yeah, what did Ron just say? I'm not repeating that.
Dick's Sporting Goods. There we go. I don't know what I'm going to eat at Dick's, but you know what? Here's a free tennis racket. Go out.
I get a free logo of a gym, and if I could just have a gym membership for life, that'd be cool.
Oh my God.
That'd be better.
If we're going to do that, there's so many things I would do. Oh my God. But now I guess you've waited long enough for the death news about Tostitos. So It turns out the Food and Drug Administration has sent out a recall for Tostitos because, quoting, this is their quote, could cause death. Don't eat Tostitos. It is the Tostitos Cantina traditional yellow corn tortilla chips. They were recalled a week ago after Frito-Lay recalled a batch of products of their 13-ounce bags. Those are like the regular ones you buy for like the family.
Mm-hmm.
And they could include a nacho cheese tortilla chip or two in there. Why is this bad? Why could it cause death? Because it has nacho cheese, it means they were made with milk. And if you have an allergic reaction to milk products,
Oh, okay.
and you go in there and go, oh, look, you ever have like the bonus curly fry, when you get your order?
Right.
This is the bonus Dorito chip, and it could kill some people.
Wow. Well, you don't want to get those for Easter then, like Ron was going to do.
That's what I was just thinking. As a matter of fact, downstairs, I have friends who are like, hey, come on, we're going to come by. And I bought some Tostitos, and I actually thought, well, I'm okay. I'm not allergic to anything.
Wow.
There we go.
Oops, that makes sense, though. But then isn't that a given with anything that has cheese?
I would think so.
If you have a problem with milk. Yeah. Wow.
The Tostitos aren't supposed to have any cheese in them, but somebody screwed up and opened up a lever, and that was that. Man. So now we're going to talk about, and we get the rundown a little inside. We get the rundown of what stories we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I'm just chomping at the bit at this. You have to explain this. Wrong spleen?
Right. In a way, it's wrong spleen. I'll say. So I read a story, or I saw a little blurb that I thought was interesting. Guy's name is William Bryan. He's a 70-year-old man. He's from Alabama. He died in August of last year after a surgeon at a Florida hospital allegedly removed his liver instead of his spleen during a procedure, and a routine procedure, I believe. Family says he was admitted to Ascension Sacred Heart Emerald Coast Hospital. That's a long name for a hospital. Due to spleen-related concerns. Underwent surgery despite initial hesitations, because, of course, the family and him, they all go through the thing with, are you sure you're going to do this? And are you sure you're going to do that? This
right.
This is an older man. We want to make sure we're being safe. Oh, no, don't worry about anything. During the operation, Dr. Thomas Sheknovsky.
Good point for that. There we go.
Reportedly removed Brian's liver by mistake, causing massive blood loss and immediate death. Okay. The removed organ was initially mislabeled as a spleen. So not only did he take the liver out, he labeled it as a spleen after that. So what is this doctor doing? Like, they don't even look similar at all. Only after his death was the error discovered, right? So the family's lawyer claims the doctor had a history of a similar surgical error, not last year, but the year before. So fairly recent, involving the removal of a part of a pancreas instead of an adrenal gland. Neither one of those two things are the same. Right?
Did he go to medical school?
Privately settled case. So, of course, it's not on any record, or maybe they didn't want it in any record, but nobody knew about it. So his wife, Beverly, she's seeking civil and criminal action.
Right.
Saying that she wants justice. She wants to prevent this doctor from harming other patients. Like the last time, nobody reported it. But there's no criminal charges as of yet that have been filed.
That's complete negligence on the hospital as well, according to Ron, and he's absolutely right, which is why they have malpractice insurance.
Right. It's crazy. So the hospital's conducting an internal investigation. I can't even imagine what they're going to find out that hasn't already been discovered. This poor man was a Navy veteran, a Boilermaker, and he was married for 33 years. And he left behind 3 children and 8 grandchildren, and that's awful. Horrible. Like, this is just supposed to be, it was a little risky because of his age, but it was supposed to be,
right.
A quick, hey, there's an issue with the spleen, go in and move any necrotic or whatever. And I mean, what is the liver? 10 times bigger than a spleen? Like, anyway.
And I mean, we understand. I mean, well, we shouldn't, but it is common where I operated on the wrong knee. I
Yes.
operated on the wrong. When you have two of something, it's like, okay, maybe
Right.
you can't tell which one is bad, so they have to mark it.
And then
A
they ask
liver and a
you, they're
spleen
like,
are not
hey,
the same
why are
thing.
we doing this? You tell us. We'll confirm with you that we're doing the left knee. They do all of that. They're supposed to be doing all that. Oof.
Oh,
Like, how could somebody mistake these two things? Like, I don't understand. That was why it was so interesting to me. I think the guy should just be pulled out of the field. Like, is he driving around in a car? You know, there's issues with this dude's
yeah, Ron said it.
comprehension.
Human Body 101 was skipped in college by this guy.
I think.
Now, are they going to have to, and quote unquote, I'm not doing this to be funny, open up all of his old surgeries and check? Are there going to be people who go, well, you know, I didn't feel right after I got whatever I
I
got
think so.
done. Could
I
he have
think
done the wrong
this guy's
thing?
news is going to be local. People are going to see it. And if they have had this guy as a doctor, there's no way they're not going to check over their own stuff and come forward. You know, if maybe they were not sure and nobody knew anything and everything seemed to be okay, or maybe they've had issues since their surgery. There's no way they're not going to come out of the woodwork when they hear this. It's
Man, this is.
crazy.
Please tell me, does it say anywhere in the story that is it? At least he is suspended while they look into this.
They haven't, from what they know, they've not seen anything like that yet.
So this
That's
guy could
crazy.
be like
I think
next
they
week.
must have suspended, but then it's not common knowledge or public knowledge. So,
I cannot believe it. Oh.
like, I don't know. It doesn't make anybody feel better about going to any doctors. I got to tell you.
No.
I will say this to people: agency. You know, if you think your doctor's doing something wrong, do something about it. Don't feel bad. Don't say, "Oh, I don't know as much as this doctor does." If you don't feel right about something, make sure you make some noise about it, because it's you. It's your body, right?
This is, and not to scare anybody, but
Right.
to back up your point of seeing a second person.
Hmm.
My ex sister-in-law was an oncologist, so if you that would be the one hospital I won't go to. I'd
Yeah,
rather go to a vet. I'm
I
sure they'd
know.
see you, Ron. My ex sister-in-law was an oncologist, cancer doctor, you know, to make it
Right.
simple. So a very bright lady. And I once asked her, I said, if all doctors study the same,
Hmm.
why do we ever need a second opinion? Why can't it just be diagnosed? She looked at me and said, just the scariest thing that we don't think of, which is we're people. Sometimes you forget. Sometimes you fall into this is what I believe rather than what I see.
Yes.
We're just people. And from that moment on, when you're a kid, you're like, I go into the doctor, they fix me up, and I get out. They're better than all of us because what they can do. Now that
Right.
I realize they're just people who make mistakes like everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
know
when
some practitioners and nurses who've worked for doctors that will admit, okay, this doctor's been practicing for a while, and this doctor thinks doctors get God complex, where nobody can tell them that they're doing something wrong, where nobody can double check their work. Like they refuse to.
oh God.
Uh, I actually, in about 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, I had an issue with fibroids, and it runs in my family. It's a long story, and a lot of women do.
Okay.
And I got a lot of wrong information. And then finally, they decided, okay, well, we're just gonna take everything out of you to stop this. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but what happens after that? Like,
Right.
sure, that stops what's happening, but then I went and researched stuff myself, and I annoyed these people until they gave me 2 or 3 other options. And I wonder how many people don't do that. Like, and the option I got was way cheaper, way quicker. The
Yep.
recovery time was better. Everything uh, was much easier because I went and researched stuff independent. And hysterectomies aren't always good for everybody. There's so much that goes on after hysterectomy that's not good for you.
I
And
agree.
you're in the hospital back and forth forever after stuff like that. Side effects and it's an unnecessary surgery, but maybe they're just running everybody through a conveyor belt because it's the quickest and easiest, or maybe it makes the most money. Honest to God, I think that's
Oh
some of it.
no, that's certainly it.
So, just
What
saying,
do they say? There's more money in treating the symptoms than they are with the cure.
right?
My immediate supervisor at work was telling me just recently that a couple of years ago she was in so much pain she couldn't sit at all.
Mm-hmm.
She said driving was just, a horrific experience because she couldn't get in that position. At work, she had a standing desk, and doctors kept telling her, "We can't find anything." And she pretty much badgered them into doing exploratory surgery where they found a couple of little cysts
Mm-hmm.
that for some reason did not show up when they did the MRI with
Yep.
contrast, and they took them out and everything was fine. But it took her to keep going back and saying, "I'm not imagining this. There's something wrong. Dig
Right.
deeper. Do
And
something."
I don't want to I don't want to be leaning towards women here, but a lot of times women are not studied in traditional medicine. So doctors are just saying stuff to you like, "Are you sure this isn't because you're a certain age?" Or, "Are you sure that you're not just being dramatic?" I mean, I actually got those answers when I was going in for surgeries, or not
That's
surgeries,
terrible.
for being checked. "Well, you're getting older now, aren't you? Isn't this just..." It's kinda like, "No, this is not normal. Don't tell me, I'm just being dramatic, or, I'm that I'm crazy. Check this thing. This is a problem." So, yeah, if you have a problem and you think that something is not right, you know your own body. If it's not acting like you think it should, keep bothering people until somebody checks on it, and if they don't like that, then change hospitals, change doctors.
Exactly.
It's your body, it's your life. You don't wanna be debilitated the rest of your life because nobody would listen to you. That makes no sense.
I think Ron needs to change this episode to "The More You Know."
Yes.
We're
I mean,
giving good advice here.
anyway, moving
Now
on.
take it. So now we're going to go to something that hopefully never happens to you,
Oof.
to unfortunately things that happen far too often to us. And Lena, in your life, have you ever worked retail?
Oh god. I think we all have. Yes, I have.
We all have, and for some reason, just oh my god, I always just tell people I do it for during the holidays. I'll work at a Macy's or a Target, pick up some extra money for the holidays. And I always say the same thing every year. This place would be great if it weren't for all the customers. But
Yeah.
here is a list of things that was on Reddit that I thought was interesting. The top things that customers do to annoy the hell out of retail workers. So we're going to start with number one, which is, of course, something that everybody knows. When the customer thinks you're lying to them about whatever,
Mm-hmm.
"I need a manager now."
Yeah, of course. Yep. Yep.
Now, again, it's kind of funny because the last story we were talking about, you have to be an advocate for yourself and you have to stand up for yourself. But
Yes.
if that sweater, you think should be $24 instead of 28, maybe it's not the biggest deal in the world.
No. Oh, obviously, no, no.
Speaking of, when a customer wants items on sale because, well, it was on that rack over there, which says 50% off, but you could see that it's actually supposed to be over there. This is cashmere. It's not going to be the same as that little, fake wool over there.
Yep.
You're not being funny. You're not getting it at sale price. Forget about it.
So far, 2 for 2. They've both happened to me. Continue.
According to Ron, I used to screw with people when they asked for the manager because I was the manager.
Oh, that's great. That's
I'll get
great.
him right away. I don't know where he is. Oh, one of my favorites. I think everybody does this, and it's sad, but when they're scanning your item and a price doesn't come up, what does everybody say automatically?
Free. If it's free, it's for
Does
me.
that mean it's
Something
Thank
like
you.
that. Yeah.
They say everybody says it, and it's not funny.
Must be
Like,
free. I know. It's
well,
so.
we have to. It's built into us for some
It's
reason.
like clicking the tongs when you're doing barbecue. It's like you
Yes,
can't not do
yes.
it. It just has to happen.
See, there are certain things that are just in all people. Makes us the same.
Yep.
When a customer gets mad because they can't use their expired coupon.
Okay, I used to work at a CVS, and this was all I did. I dealt with older women, and I was downtown, in a city. Women would take buses in, and this is
Oh
all they
God.
did. They had these coupons that would expired like 2 days ago, and they would drive us crazy. I mean, I guess when I'm older and I don't have much going on and I need to go downtown and harass people in a convenience store because I'm just bored or whatever. But this is
Right.
what we dealt with all the time. Yeah.
Did you honor it or did you say, I'm sorry, I can't?
It depended. We usually used to. We were kind of, it depended on the search situation, but we were kind of. It usually wasn't that much. I mean, we have what 6 or 7% built into a store for theft anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just be like, these people are loyal customers. They're older women. They come out. They spent all their 15, hours trying to get down here on 2 buses. We'll give her the soap for 29 cents instead
Yeah.
of
I'll give her
45 cents.
the dime off, whatever.
Whatever, you know what I mean? Sometimes we take it out of our own pocket, like here, just take it.
See, you would think too that you could use the sales brand of Bed Bath and Beyond, the 20% off. Just give it to us. But they went out of business, so obviously that didn't work.
Right. A lot of them
Okay,
did like that.
when a customer thinks that the back of the store is a magical hiding place for products.
Yes. Oh, it's not out here. It must be in the back.
Could you check in the back? Do you know what's in the back? There's a table back there where people sit and they eat their lunch. That's what's in the back.
Yes.
Stop asking us to check the back. There's nothing in the back. You're not getting it.
I know.
Besides, everything is on. Everybody has a handheld now. Everybody has.
Yeah. Yep.
Stock 0. But could you check in the back to find a 0?
I wonder. I used to see that, but I wonder. Like you can actually go online. Well, not really. I just went to Home Depot for something that they said they had, and then the guy's like, "We don't have that." And I'm like, "Well, then you guys told me this store had this thing, like it's online." Well, I don't know what to tell you.
So many times.
They should have some inventory that now pops up online too, like out of stock, almost out of stock, whatever. This store has it, this one doesn't. That should be accurate to their inventory now.
It should be
digitally, right?
But you know what you have to watch though on that when you're doing that is the one that the little line, and they put it in tiny print, in stock 2, not at store. Oh, it's online. It's in the warehouse.
Right. Yes.
Wherever.
Yeah, you got to look at the small print always. I agree.
When the customer doesn't put anything back on the shelf, how do you feel about that?
I think it's part of the, I don't know, if you work stock shelves, I think it's just part of the experience.
I agree with that.
I think it would be nice if they did, but I'm a realist and I just don't expect people to do that. I expect them to put it wherever they are and we'll walk away. Then at the end of the night, we all put everything back where it's supposed to go. It's part of being the employee, I guess.
Yep. As Ron says, it keeps a job. Besides, if you want people to stay there, they very easily could go to an AI system, where there's nobody there.
Right. Something to do. I mean, it's like putting the carriages back outside.
Oh my God, I am a huge
I think it's a courtesy thing, right? And I judge people by whether or not they do that as human beings. But it's also like, I guess there's a guy that puts the carriages back, and if you do it, then what's he gonna do? I guess so.
He's gonna take them from there and bring them all back in that
That's
nice
true. He's gonna bring them inside.
Parade.
That's true.
And the final thing that gets them is when a customer doesn't know the hours of the store, they'll show up half hour early and bang, hello, I see you in there. We're setting up, man. Or we're closing in 5 minutes. Oh, I'm only going to be 1 minute. And then they just take time going up and down the aisles.
They're for an hour and you're like, oh my goodness.
Oh.
But I heard in New York they have no mercy. Like in New York, they're just like, nope, it's 2 minutes past. No. Like dry cleaners, at least. Nope.
It depends.
Sorry.
There are places that have gotten smart, especially when it comes to dealing with food, where we're open till 11, but last meal order goes in at 10:45.
Right.
So you show up 10:50 and go, well, you're open. No, but we're not. We're cleaning up. We're not doing that. So now here's something different. This is where the retail worm turns. I have a story, and it's very bizarre. I want to hear how you would handle this.
Okay.
A woman walked in with a bunch of friends. They were getting pizza and beer. Very simple orders.
Okay.
The woman says, I ordered a Miller Lite, and she gave me a Bud Light by mistake. She had already opened it, so she went back. She got the correct order, opened that, and she said, okay. She went to give her back the Miller Lite, and she said, we can't do anything with it anyway because it's been opened, so you might as well have it. The woman said, okay, great. I got a free Miller. I said, thank you for that. The bill came, and on the bill was listed the pizza, the beer, not the Miller, because that was gratis. Well, there was a $5 bitching fee added to it.
Ooh.
Actually written out. $5 bitching fee. Oh, well, Ron says they're both horrible beers. To each their own.
True.
The customer added, I didn't even, I thought it was funny that it must have been a joke. And she was even willing to pay the $5. Just, this was funny. I got a good story. But her friend, spoke up on her behalf. And she said, excuse me, there must be a mistake. My friend didn't say a word. There's nothing on it. And I guess the waitress decided, I'm not backing down off of this. Perhaps if somebody had come up and said, look, this has got to be a joke, right? Maybe she would have taken it off. But because someone was pressing her, the waitress decided to fight back and said, no, that's our new policy. Take it or leave it. It's $5 extra. By the way, bad planning on the waitress part, because that just means they're taking it out of your tip.
True.
Let's be honest about that.
Right.
So what do you think about, should there be added fees depending upon, the people who say, oh, I ordered that? No, I didn't order that. Well, yes, you did. People just make it difficult.
Right. I probably would call it a restocking fee or something like that.
Restocking fee.
Like, listen, when you get a beer and it's wrong, it's like, it's not like you don't know that. Like, if you're not looking, it's right there. How can you not know what before you open it? So I don't know. I'm not sure how I would handle that. I mean, I probably would just be like, okay, fine, and I'd handle it. If it was I was a customer, I'd probably just pay it, and depending on my attitude, I probably just wouldn't come back.
You know what? If she's going to give me a bitching fee and I've already gotten
I might as well
my receipt, I'm really going to lie into her. I'm like, oh, okay, I've already paid for the bitching fee.
Right.
Everybody gather around. We're putting on a show now.
Right. I probably would do that too. I probably wouldn't. I try very hard to settle with a restaurant that I have a discrepancy with. I know everybody it goes online right now and blasts people and don't even ask the restaurant to make good on something, and I think that's fair. But once I did do that, I probably that'd be something I'd screenshot and somebody online would see it. It'd be a story.
Oh, that's going viral, yeah.
Yeah.
Ron says he wouldn't pay the whole bill. But you consume the food, Ron. You did eat it. You're paying for it. Now, I'm going back to what the number one thing that people hated. Perhaps that is a time to go to the manager.
What about like letting people know, okay, listen, this is what we do. So before you start consuming food here, just know we have this thing. There's a menu. What's the name of it? There's a I can't think of them because I'm having coffee brain. But in Georgia, there's a Vortex is the name of it.
Yeah.
And there's actually in the menu, it backs up all the employees. Like, listen, if you're going to be blah blah blah, you can just get out. It says something like that on the bottom of the menu. That way, once you start ordering and everything starts happening, all right, you want to stay? Okay.
Yeah.
You can't complain about anything once you order and start eating there as a customer because it's already in the menu and you've already seen it. They put it somewhere where when you're looking at the menu, you can't miss it. I love it, but it's like at least ahead of time. I think in this case, I would want to know that in advance and agree to it before somebody tells me that, like at the bill when the bill comes. That's my problem.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay, Lena.
Yes.
Now you brought us the wrong spleen.
Yes.
You brought us serial killers, but prunes and cheeses?
Now listen, I've learned how to give you guys the topics so that you don't have any idea what it is. So you can't research it.
No clue.
And then I get to come in and tell you, and you get real surprised as opposed to whatever. Yeah. So it's just a cute little fun fact that these days when and it's funny, but since the selfie generation, right, there's this thing about making sure you smile and make sure you get the right angle and all this other stuff, right? And I'm a Gen X kid, so I already think, I'm not saying selfies are bad, but I don't think that they should dominate people's conscious. Like if you go see the pyramids, you should go see the damn pyramids. Stop taking pictures of yourself in front of it. Enjoy the sights that you're going to see, right? However, people used to find it tacky and disgusting to smile in pictures years ago.
Yes, yeah.
So cheese is what we say. I don't know if we say cheese now, but we do things that we would flash our teeth and we smile and take our picture. Years ago, though, you were supposed to be very prim and proper when you took a picture. And so prunes was what people used to say.
Prune.
Yes. And so it
Prune.
used to be prunes, and it would put your face in a very prim and proper place for
Prune.
the guy that was, of course, standing there with his flash. And so it's just funny because when you look at pictures of years ago, everybody looks so serious. But it's just funny that social convention changes, and what we think should have always been normal wasn't.
Yeah.
And so if we would been back then doing what we're doing now, we would probably been cast from society for acting like that.
Oh my God.
You know, our pictures would be tossed in the trash. I don't know, but they would basically be horrified by us smiling and all that and doing this and sticking our tongues out and
You
flipping the
forgot
camera
duck
off.
face, you know.
Right. But it's very, we'd had to stand there. We'd had to sit there and be very stoic. And so prunes was the word they used to use. And I thought that was kind of cute. Like, oh, all right, that makes sense. Put you say prunes. It makes you do this. Yeah. So isn't that crazy?
That explains a hell of a lot. Recently, my sister and I finally got around to cleaning out my mother's, who had passed away, God, 12 years ago now. Finally got around to getting rid of all the photo albums and all the family stuff. And you are exactly right. From my parents smiled, but if you go back to grandparents and great grandparents, they're all like this. You know,
it's. I don't know which one is better. Why. Like I don't know that it's so weird because I think both of them are fine for like the era that they were in. Right. So they would have an opinion on us and we have an opinion on them, but it just was the way the times were. And so, yeah, I have old pictures like that too, where everybody was doing this. And so, yeah.
We're just having a conversation with my friends about things that we don't have anymore. And I'm going to actually be doing our next bit is things that were normal in the 80s. This isn't on my list, but it probably should be. Whenever you see an event from news footage of, I don't know, space, you know, going off into space or a big sporting event, the one thing you don't see anymore are the flash bulbs going off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, so that was just part of the moment. Right. Everybody taking the pictures, and you knew, oh, well, according to Ron, I guess we are switching topics right now. So, okay.
Okay.
I wanted to still talk about that. There we go. Prunes and cheeses. I wanted to talk about that. Now, there is something about, you said it, being in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You were there. You have to experience what you're doing. But let's face it, have you been to the pyramids?
No, I've never.
Okay. If you found yourself in front of the pyramid, tell me you wouldn't have one or two of you at the pyramids.
So people that know me know I don't do that. Like I actually don't. I'm terrible. I'm one of those people that go to the event and like there's no pictures for me. I'm just weird like that. Because I really do put my phone down and I like to be part of stuff. And I'll forget to take pictures or I'll feel weird doing it. Like I'll feel like we're interrupting like a spontaneous moment. So I've met celebrities that I don't have pictures of just because I'm like, I want to talk to that celebrity. I want to, and I feel bad going, oh, can I get a picture? I feel stupid doing that. And so that's the same thing. I should do it more because I want my own memories for me. So at least my friends and whatever, but I'm really bad about that. I actually always forget to take pictures during something and I don't have enough when I'm done. So
I am always the person who takes the picture. Mm-hmm. So I have tons and tons of pictures of all my friends. And the other day I was lamenting, I used to direct a sports show and I was the showrunner. And I said, damn, you know, I was proud of the job I did. I really was. And I can show the show and say, I put that together. But there's nothing of me.
Yeah, that's the
And
same.
a
Yeah, I'll do that too.
friend
Yep.
sent me 2 videos that I didn't even know existed of me directing and telling them what to
That's
do and which
awesome.
camera. I couldn't have been happier knowing, oh my God, there's finally a record of that. So while I agree with you to live in the moment, and I do tell people to do that.
I think people think you're lying if you don't have something where you're in it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I always feel like I need that 2 pictures of photographic proof. Like,
Right.
here we
No,
go, boop, boop. But I'm never in them.
I mean, you could Photoshop something now, though. I mean, even so, like I met Kevin Bacon. I have a Kevin Bacon story. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing now, but I did.
Yeah.
And I felt we were having a conversation. And I just felt like bad to stop and do that. You know what I mean? I probably should have, but I just felt like, wow, this is like, it's cool talking to him and getting information. And I just felt like
Yes.
it would just make things weird if I did that. So I just didn't. I have friends that could tell you they saw me talking to him and they know that. Once they die, I guess it'll just be like a story in my head. But I never took a picture just because I don't know, I felt like it was tacky, I guess. I don't know.
Were you
So
in an area where it was an open area where other people could have joined in?
it wasn't. I had an ex-boyfriend who was a sound engineer, and we were at a festival, and he was doing he was with his brother. They were doing the Bacon Brothers
The
show,
Bacon Brothers, yeah.
and we were in a production trailer next to him. So it literally was just like, hey, we're just kicking back, and I was offering him, coffee because the coffee was
Yes.
terrible in the tent. And it was just like a literal production conversation and whatever. So we would just, it wasn't, oh my God, it wasn't like that kind of thing. It was like everybody was musicians and they were just all behind the scenes. And I felt weird being groupie-ish about that. So I just,
I would agree there.
you
That
know,
is
didn't do it.
based on where you were and at the time.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with that. See,
That's
I
how I
pictured
meet
it
a
when
lot
you
of
said
people. Yep.
I pictured it like on the street where
Yep.
you're having a conversation, but other people are going, "Can I have a picture?" And you're just,
Right.
I'll
No,
do
no, there
that.
was none of that. I mean, but it was also in the early 2000s, and so there wasn't that much of that going on anyway. Like, I probably wouldn't even have had a camera with me, I don't think at the time, so I don't think I could. But I didn't even say, "Hey, can I get an autograph?" or any I might just didn't do that. Because I just felt like it was disrespectful of the environment, I think. But again, that's how I meet everybody. I'm always in a green room somewhere or whatever, and I just think it's, you know,
No,
not good.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, if you could have that moment, you have
Yeah.
more of a memory of a personal,
Yeah.
meeting with him than just I walked up, I took a picture, and that. Well, what was he like? I don't know. I just took a picture
Right.
and left.
No, I know what he was like. I actually, by the way, I did say that there was only 1 degree between me and him after that. And I asked him how many times he heard that, and he laughed and he said, I don't know, 100 million times I've heard that joke, everybody tells it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm more interested in here's a person that I respect. And I thought I wasn't even meeting him to meet him. He just happened to be in the next trailer over with his brother, and they were dealing with bad catering. And I had a pot of coffee, and I was like, well, we have coffee that's better tasting than that. And that was it. So anyway.
I like that. So coffee with bacon. There we go.
Tell me, are there more things from the 80s that are you going to tell? Is there more?
I am.
Okay.
I have an article here. What was normal in the 80s? And I'm so glad that I'm with someone another Gen Xer, who can actually appreciate this. So recently, members of the BuzzFeed community they asked people, what are common experiences you had back in the day that people just might not understand today?
Yep.
So we have a few. And this one, I'm sure everybody can verify.
Mm-hmm.
The neighbors pretty much knew who you were. And they sort of monitored everybody. Everybody monitored everybody's kids.
Yeah.
So if you did something wrong, your parents didn't need to see it. If a neighbor saw it, you were in trouble.
Yes, the my kid is perfect thing wasn't happening back then.
Oh my God.
Our parents would beat us if they heard something. It wouldn't even matter if we didn't do it. We would still get in trouble for the optic of knowing that other people are watching us and how we need to behave around adults and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Apparently, Ron's mother was the neighborhood mom because she knew everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I think all our parents thought they knew everything. However, yes, at 10 o'clock, nobody knew where their kids were. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, they
Anyway,
knew it because the phone would ring and you couldn't tell who it was. Believe it or
yes,
not, no caller ID. Just
nope,
you picked
nothing.
up and said hello.
It was just like a Wild West, just random phone answering. Could been anybody.
And we loved it.
We did. It
And
was risky, but it was fun.
speaking of this, when you wanted to contact somebody, people would, okay, get this, we would write down something and it was called a letter. And then you'd put a stamp on it, put it in an envelope and mail it. And eventually it might get there, it might not.
Yes. It would always get there. Sometimes it'd be 10 years later because it
There
would get
are a
caught
lot of
up in
stories.
some off the path postal what have you, and then it would get there 10 years later. But yeah, that's so funny.
Here's one from the 80s that I can verify. My high school in the 80s, we had a smoking area for teachers and students.
We did. Between classes. Yeah. We had a thing where we would be able to cut through the middle of the parking lot. And so we would, we'd come out of one door and we'd walk across the parking lot and we'd smoke our cigarette for 5 minutes. Okay, put it out.
And what was
Next
the
class.
smoking area? It was usually just a big metal garbage can where you could just.
Okay, we didn't
And
have that. We were probably more messy, and we just were putting. We probably got yelled at eventually, but when I was going through school, we were putting our cigarettes out in the parking lot and leaving them there. we were gross, but
Okay, you're out late at night.
Mhm.
You need to make a phone call. You have to find a telephone booth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if you didn't have a dime or a quarter, depending upon when that switched, okay, Lena, how do you make a collect call?
You would. We had those. The phones had the hang up handle or whatever. You would either dial 0,
Bingo.
or you would tap the
Tap the thing a couple of times.
that would also bring the operator. It all depend on what time or what
Oh,
era
God.
it was. But yeah.
Operator,
I'd like to make a collect call to such and such and such.
Bingo.
Also, you could do a breakthrough.
Oh, God, I remember
and the last
that
time I saw
too.
that was in Terms of Endearment. I know it sounds crazy. I have the most random stuff in my head where Deborah Winger's character, Shirley MacLaine, was constantly wanting to call her and talk to her about nonsense. And so she would do an emergency breakthrough all the time. So I have a so-and-so calling for an emergency breakthrough. While you're on your call, the operator would interrupt you and tell you somebody was trying to get through. And you had to hang up, and then the phone would ring. So, yeah.
Oh, my God. I just brought it up. Do they have operators anymore?
I don't think so. Well, they must. I think they must, but not as many as they used to. Because, they must have something. I think mostly it's automated, though.
Got to be somebody there. Well, Ron just said you can go into a phone booth unless Superman was in it. So that shows you where his head was.
That's true. Or Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman used to do that too. Although she had a little bit. She needed more room to turn and swing her cape and all that. She needed more room to. Yes. But yeah. Phone booths. And do you remember the phone books that used to hang from cords?
Yes.
Underneath. So there was this little slot underneath that you would stick a phone book that was like 10 inches thick, and it would sit underneath the phone booth, and you could pull it out, and it would actually be, because people would steal phone books.
I don't know why everybody got them delivered to you.
Right. So they actually
stick them in a drawer
on like metal cable attached, so you couldn't steal it. And I never understood who would want to do that, but anyway, they were valuable.
People want phone books.
Everybody's information was in it. Yep.
We, the children at the time, were the remote controls for the TV.
Yes.
Get up, put on channel 11. Get up. And by the way, 2, 4, 5 for in New York, channel 2, channel 4, channel 5, channel 7, 9, 11, and 13. 7 channels. That's it.
Now, if you're from Rhode Island, you remember Boston and Providence TV, because we used to be able to pick up all the Boston channels. We were close enough. So it was like 7, 6, and 3 was CBS, and 10, 4, and something else was NBC. But we would still get what we wanted, but it'd be a little, all the Boston stations would be a little staticky. So
There
we
was
had all the
no
UHF and all that. Yeah, so we used to be able to see both.
there was no Cartoon Network. You had to wait till Saturday
No.
morning for cartoons.
Yes. Yep. At WSBK 38, WSBE 50. I should not know this. WSBE 56. I can't remember. WHDH Boston. That was 7. Yeah.
Wow, you got a lot up there.
Yeah.
And what would happen somewhere around midnight and 2 a.m. to every TV network?
The Star Spangled Banner would play. And
Bingo!
the channel would pull all the programming, and you just get static.
Yep,
until
there
they
was
came
no
back, sign off. Sometimes they
Yep.
had that little what do you call it? The little target,
The test pattern.
test pattern would come up. I think
They just get boop.
unless that would come up maybe that came up at the beginning, I think, in the morning. And then
Oh God.
they pull it at night. They didn't need to test it when they were going off. Yep.
You know what? No wonder we have more imagination than they do.
I think
we
so.
had time.
Yeah, we did. And we all knew how to like just be by ourselves. We were
Absolutely.
I think most of us were just home making dinner by ourselves, waiting for our parents to come back. So anyway,
we were the latchkey kids. Yeah.
Continue.
When you ordered something in the mail, it wasn't there the next day. It was 8 to 12 weeks, and you had no idea. There's no tracking number. There's no nothing. It'll be there when it's there.
Do you remember going out to the mail like you would mail a cereal box label thing in?
Yes.
For some really weird thing, like a spyglasses or some kind of thing that you could use to decode something or whatever. The cereal had all these weird things, which kids would, and we go out every day and be like, "Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here yet?" So every day, same thing with like even your college when you were trying to get into college, it was like that. Every day you check the mail. Every day you check the mail.
Yep. I loved it. I absolutely did.
I thought it was great too. It gave us something to do.
I used to I think it was Delwood Milk. It was and they would give out tickets to the New York Met games if you would carve out all the little tickets and send them in. And my dad would always tell me, "You get the tickets and I'll take you." And religiously, when are the tickets? When are the tickets coming? When are the tickets coming?
Did you have the Pizza Hut book challenge where you lived?
I know of it. I didn't participate in it. There wasn't a Pizza Hut in my area, but I know of it.
Yep, that was great.
Speaking of that, the Columbia Record Club.
Yeah. We all still owe it. We all still owe to them. They're all gone now, but we still owe.
Well, can I tell you something? A very interesting fact about my life is that a few years ago, my company actually bought the Columbia Record Club, and I am one of the last people who actually had the CDs, video games, had all that stuff. We had it in our stock room, and we were in charge of getting rid of it.
And I didn't know you then. Oh, I wish I did.
Oh, you could have gotten so much stuff. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
All my friends got.
Not like I don't need more crap, but.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. BMG in Columbia. Yep. Fun.
How about this one? Jungle Gyms. You went out, you played. If you got hurt, you went home. It wasn't, we're shutting it down. We have to make it safer. It was Johnny stupidly climbed to the top. He wanted to do a somersault. He hit his head. Go home now.
So Gen X children, we had, I guess we would call them playgrounds. That's what we called them when we were kids in my area. And they were just metal and asphalt and paint. Yes. That was it. And so you would climb up these things. If you fell, you would go home. Oh, your parents would be like, "You're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Go in the bathroom, put a Band-Aid on that, throw some peroxide on it, throw some alcohol on it, whatever. Go back out there. You're not going to stay in, are you? Oh, that's ridiculous. Go back out there."
Right. Summertime, going down the metal slide in shorts and just.
You knew better, though. You knew once the summer came, you had to at least wear bicycle shorts or something. You could not wear short shorts on that slide because that was it.
Did you ever take the long ass car trip somewhere during the summer?
Yeah. Well, yes, but no, we had a lot where I lived. So we kind of didn't have to. Like we had Rocky Point back then years ago. For us, Rocky Point was a fun ride, but it wasn't more than a half an hour.
But I bet you one thing you didn't do is you didn't worry or care about seatbelts.
I don't think. No, we didn't. We didn't. Although they started, I don't remember when they started. They were there
Oh no,
the
they
whole
were
time I
always
was a
there.
kid, but no, nobody cared.
Nope.
Nobody cared.
And then there was when you became a teenager and you could get like, okay, my car fits 8, but we're gonna put 12.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody cared about that.
Well, do you remember that? That's how we used to go to the drive-in.
Yeah, I am so mad that I didn't grow up
6 in
anywhere
the trunk.
near a drive-in.
Yeah. Yep. Oh
I
well.
used to see that on TVs and movies and be like, "That's so cool! I want to
Yep.
do that." Don't have that. Here, going back, this guy said that he had a cigarette vending machine in the basement of his high school.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Do you remember the cigarette machines though?
Yes.
Like you pull that big nut, boom, and it goes.
We
all
used
the
to
way back.
have a couple restaurants near my house, and I was a smoker, and I will, but even before that, my grandmother they'd send, as kids, we were sent 5, 6 years old to walk to the store and get
Bingo.
that stuff, or walk to the local restaurant, walk into the lobby and put 2.50 or 50 cents or whatever the heck it was into a vending machine and pull the cigarette, go back home and give it to you. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yep.
I remember my mother telling me, my father would give me money to go get cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 8 years old. Doesn't matter. They'll sell it to you. And my mother would give me like $40, a list, and a shopping cart, and go to the store, bring back the food for the week.
We used to need a note sometimes, and so the parents would just write a note like, "Please sell my kid these cigarettes," or "Please sell my kid these whatever." Yeah.
And lastly, I know the way that the world runs today, but it was different back then. If you didn't have cash, you had nothing.
Yeah.
No debit, no credit for a kid, nothing. You needed, Mom, I need $5. I'm going to the movies. Not, I'll Venmo it to you. I will.
Yep. You had to sit and you had to figure out, you had to know what everything was going to cost before you left the house. You just did. Because if you ran over, you weren't getting it. You had to put it back and leave. That was it.
And you know what's funny is everything we're talking about made things harder for us, but I can't speak for everybody. I loved it.
We didn't know from that, though. We would now. We'd be like, oh, that's inconvenient now. But then there was nothing more convenient than what we were doing. So we didn't know any better.
Yeah.
And it was just
that's
life.
Why we talk about these kids and go, oh, my God, they couldn't take it when we were.
Listen, all these kids,
put them in that environment growing up in it, they would have done.
You give them a standard car and some cursive writing, and they're done. And some Dewey Decimal System, and that's it. Like we can go to the library right now, and we could do anything because we can find all the books we need. But if the internet went down, how would people learn anything?
Do you remember? Right. Okay, I have a paper due. I'm going to the library to look up cards, and then I have to get, like you said, the Dewey Decimal System to find the book.
Or you give it to the librarian. Right. You give it to the librarian. Hi, do you have this book? Librarian goes, hang on. And she goes back there and looks for it. Yeah. Or she gives you back something. Here, it's aisle 3. Yep.
But she wasn't going to get the book. You're going to get the book. You do the work.
Yes. Well, we should.
I hope you enjoyed this trip down the 80s lane.
I love it.
I did. We want you to come back on Monday, like it says. Becky Turner, who is back from Banff.
The
He's
beautiful
going to be
Becky.
with our own Captain Ron. For Lena, you want to plug your other projects?
Sure. So my name is Lena, but I am a DJ, so DJ Lena. So if you look me up under DJ Lena, and that's Lana right there. And also, I have a podcast with my buddy Dave, and it's called Love and Life with Lena and Dave, and it's www.lenaanddave.com, and that's it.
For me, it's already up there. You can go to YouTube at CTD Podcast, which stands for Circling the Drain Podcast. We are a comedy podcast. Currently, we are doing, you've heard of March Madness. We're doing April annoyances. Things that annoy you the most. Right now, as a matter of fact, Lena, while I have you here, Ron, while you're there, which is more annoying to you, mosquito bites or paper cuts?
Paper cuts.
Paper cuts?
Yep.
Ron, you want to chime in there? Well, we're waiting for him. Okay.
Oh, well, he says mosquito bites.
I hope you have a wonderful day. He says mosquito bites. There we go. Got to vote for each. Thank you from Lena and myself. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Happy
Thanks for
Easter,
hanging with us this morning.
or whatever you're celebrating.
Yes.
WrestleMania 420, whatever. You know what? Just make it a good day. And remember, come back, because if you need some fun, we've got it going on daily.
Yes, we do.